Okay, we're recording now. This is the home of the Roland Heights Community Coordinating Council, 9/9/24. He wait days from 9/11. And then we have the infamous Mr. Martinez right there. And we're watching them. Okay. All right. Okay, and that's our CHP guy, they're conspiring back there. Okay. We'll figure out what's going on. Hey, every day's a good day here at Roland Heights. Because guess what?
What is it?
One day you're wrong. So it's got to be. Okay, and now here's I can help you earn $1 American money. Okay, if you can tell me how much per month is spent in the United States of America on advertising for pharmaceuticals.
Oh.
I didn't use the word drugs. Pharmaceuticals. You
Sit down.
come up now, no Googling now. I don't know if I never tried to Google it.
You know that one. I think you would have a lot of people
Okay, and
stumped on that.
now I'll make it a little easier for you. If you can tell me the only two countries in the entire universe that are allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals on the television. Can you name the two countries? I'll help you out with one of them. Okay, so that's one for you. And when I just learned that, you know. And then isn't it ironic that they have this advertising, and we'll say if you had a set of physical issues that you see a doctor for, that you need to go tell your doctor about this medication / drug. That he's been taking care of you for since you were that high, knee high to a grasshopper. You ever heard that one?
Oh, I heard that.
And now you have to go tell him what to get for you. Huh? You know what I'm saying here? And you wonder why the kids go, what did you say? Okay, get ready for the enlightenment work. Oh, and do you know about this guy right here?
Let's see. I'm looking for a name.
It doesn't say?
It doesn't. Where's the name?
Thomas Sowell. Sowell. And he's what us folks call a brainiac. And he's actually also a fellow at the Hoover Institute, Stanford University, and so forth. And world-known economist, etc. See how many books of his I've got on cell phone, so forth. And if you may have noticed, I don't know, I work for the CIA, so I'm very conservative. I'm not exactly a young fellow. And all this time, I didn't come across to him until a year ago. And I said, under what rock has this guy been hiding? You know? Or what rocks did I didn't look under? You know, but you introduce yourself to, and he's interviewed on YouTube, but he has been for 30, 40, 50 years. And geez, you will want to donate to my cause. Oh, you got to. And guess what? He was born of Southern, black family, okay, in the 30s. And then I forgot whether the father said with the greener pastures, but there's more than one greener pastures. You know what I'm saying here. And then his auntie, what so I went up to New York City, and it's just the story. And some people, I don't know, they just have this luck where they have this brain in spite of what's around them. So yeah, you guys are a super brain. And yeah, now I got to warn you. If you just do this video, just go to YouTube and do Thomas Sowell Shorts, okay, and subscribe to him. You'll get him.
Okay.
Yeah, and you listen to him so forth, and you say, "Where's this guy been all my life?" You know, one of those things, and you will just again, and he's real. You know, he doesn't write stuff for the PhDs and so forth, but he doesn't talk down to you either. So hey, hey, and T-shirts on Amazon, by the way. Thank you.
Learn something new.
Books on Amazon.
I count on learning something new from you.
And I have on my cell phone as Audible
Okay.
because I'm just listening to because I have attention deficit disorder, as you probably noticed there.
Doesn't matter what we have, we can learn something and we can teach something.
And Kindle because you absorb and learn much more visual than you do just. And what testimony does, my kids, I've been telling them for years.
There's more than one way to learn, huh?
Yeah, more than one way to skin cat.
Well, I remember that one too.
Okay, get out here and raise some hell. Do something there. Okay. There's trouble right over there. Okay. We got you. We got you now.
How's it going, hey, sir?
How you doing?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, okay.
How you holding up with the heat?
Hey. Here's my wife.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Get out of there.
We're gonna go ahead and get started. It's 7:01.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I wanted to make a note
8,
so
10,
that you are aware
14,
in October and November, on the bottom of your agenda, we have holidays the second Monday in October and the second Monday in November. So the RHCCC's meetings will be the third Monday of the month. So if you can just kind of make note of that. It'll be the third Monday in October and the third Monday in November due to Veterans Day and Indigenous
Okay, we
People Day.
associating.
Okay. So if we can stand for the flag salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, welcome everybody to the Rolling Heights Community Coordinating Council meeting, our September meeting. Other than that announcement about the dates being changed for October and November, I'm going to check with my board. Is there any other general announcement that I need to make? Nope. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go on to our community reports. And the first person up is from the LA County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Navarez.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you guys again. Like I said, it's always great to have a good turnout here, especially with the heat. It's been difficult for more recently in this past week. It's been really difficult. You notice the difference. Two things that I want to touch on today. So when it comes, like I said, we always pay attention to crime trends within our area. In this past month, what I've noticed, there's been more property crimes. So what we normally call them is these are crimes of opportunity, right? Meaning it's normally dealing with either vehicle burglaries because things are left inside the vehicle, or we have grand theft, which is things are left unsecured. Those are the two things that I've noticed even when I interview people. For the most part, it's leaving items in the vehicle. It's like one of the main things I would tell people. It's like, hey, realize that there's vehicle burglaries going on in the area, especially within our shopping centers. So I'm talking about off of Fullerton, there's two shopping centers, right? We have Yes and Diamond Plaza. Off of Nogales, we have multiple. So we have Laban Court, and then we have the Boiling Crab, and then even off of Nogales and Colima. So just pay attention to things like that. On top of that, leaving things unsecured outside your property, within your vehicles, and so forth. The other big thing, and I'm sure you guys have all noticed, is there's been an increase in homelessness or homeless population within our community. And with that, like you said, crime kind of tends to raise with it. So this past month, what we're doing within the station is we're updating all letter of agencies. Letter of agencies are, we send them out to all these property owners, mostly for commercial real estate, or commercial properties. What the registered owner will do is they sign the form, send it back to the sheriff's department, and that gives us the authorization to detain and arrest for trespassing. They need a couple additional things like drunk trespassing signs and so forth, but it gives us the opportunity and, like I said, the authority to be able to enforce something in that situation as opposed to just contacting them, warn them, and then provide some kind of service, because that's the only we do. We try to provide some kind of service at all times.
We found James Yang.
More recently, are you guys familiar with the abandoned gas station on the corner of Colima and Jellic? So the northeast corner of Colima and Jellic, we noticed that there's been about 2 to 3 transits that were, like I said, homeless people that have been living in that area. Last Sunday, because of that encampment right there, we ended up having a carjacking. So carjacking entitles some kind of force or fear, right? So it's not just a normal, they're still in your car vehicle theft. Now there's actually some kind of physical, like I said, either physical, verbal, but there's a threat there. The person that ended up driving off in the vehicle ended up getting arrested later on by a neighboring agency. However, we're missing one person. With those letter of agencies, when we started contacting people, we ended up finding the second guy. Like I said, this is one of the things that we're starting to update within our community. Like I said, we've reached out to all the commercial property owners in the area to update it. Hopefully by the end of October, we have it all updated again so that we can start to enforce again. Any questions today? Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that we've noticed recently, and it's not just within Rolling Heights. So I used to be they'll call it SAO, so Special Assignment Officer, and I used to work with Diamond Bar as well. We noticed that there was an increase in homelessness from outside our area. Because for the most part, most of the homeless are people that were living in the area or have some kind of tie to the area, either a family member or they grew up here. Part of it has to do with they're starting to provide services from the county. People are coming out to provide services. So you're starting to notice a lot of people are coming from the LA area coming out here because it's not so crowded, so it's easier to get services. Or there's services out here that they were once getting, and then after they get out, they kind of stay on this side of town. So that's what we're noticing, and that's why you see faces that you're not normally used to seeing these days.
Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm Roy Humphreys, and I have turned in that property to the county. And here we have Mr. James Yang back here working for the county, also lives locally here. Maybe he can give us a little update why they have allowed this property. And I got a notice back 2 days ago, a month after that, and these people, this county, you got to hold these people accountable. And if you choose not to do that, you get exactly what you deserve. Thank you.
Like I said, and I agree with what Roy's saying. It's something we do have to speak of as a community. We try to enforce as much as we can, but like I said, if we don't get that authority to enforce on certain properties, the sheriff department, we can't do anything about it, and you guys are the ones that kind of live with it. And it's an unfortunate thing, man.
That property adjacent to that the old gas station, that guy's lined up there with how many cars?
I'm familiar with who you're talking
Walk
about.
on the
So he was actually cited for that within the last month, and that's what it turned into. So we are citing people. We also work with Public Works. So when it comes to removing those shopping carts, Public Works has kind of set a standard of like 2 shopping carts per person, which, like I said, there's a whole story to it because it comes to those belong to retail companies, and it's the retail companies need to be willing to enforce in order for us to arrest. Public Works is coming around. So every week we do meet up with Public Works in the morning and we clean up the canals. But when it comes to the shopping carts, and that's something, like I said, it's an ongoing thing, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, we're waiting for Public Works to get back to us so that we can, because right now I want to see he has 4 to 5 shopping carts, right? Yeah, so to bring it back to the 2, which is what they're allowing to have. Yeah, and it's not, and like I said, and it's not just that part. Like I said, we're concerned because Jellicoe Elementary is right up the street from them, right? And that's the elementary school we're talking about, and that's one of the biggest concerns that we're getting, especially with that vacant gas station. So that's what we just got, the letter of agency. So that gas station was recently purchased, brand new owner. We just got the letter of agency, which is what I'm talking about, last week from him. He posted the trespassing signs on Friday. So that's how we were able to enforce with the carjacking guy. Now it's just a matter of getting it completely cleaned up. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And just one more issue. Some of you may know that I habitate with the County Board of Supervisors, as I will tomorrow, and I voice opinion for this community. And you can do the same thing. And these people, the County Board of Supervisors want you to think, oh, these are poor homeless people. They are not. They are transients. They refuse assistance. And Mr. The gentleman back here leaning, holding up the wall, he can tell you about this. They refuse it and thumb their nose at you. Until you stand up and do something, you're going to get just what you got. And they're coming from Los Angeles and other cities because these cities are trying to kick them out as well as getting them out of Los Angeles. And where are they going to go? Because Rolling Heights people don't do a damn thing. Thank you.
Well, like I said, it comes down to your community. Like I said, that's
Ask a question, Roy.
Other than that, like I said, I'll be in the back. I know there's other questions you guys have to ask. If you want to ask me privately, I'll be more than happy to address them.
I'm more concerned with they can have 2 shopping carts. Okay.
It's crazy, like, we came out and took a bunch of shopping carts. Because a lot of these belong to the big retail companies, like, let's say, off of Gale, right? Home Depot and so forth. You contact Home Depot, hey, we have a bunch of shopping carts, we don't do with them, they're like, well, we don't want them back. So now Sheriff's Department's like, 38 shopping carts, you know?
Okay, let's move on. California Highway Patrol Officer O'Toole is here with us this evening.
Good evening. I only have a couple things, only because public affairs officer didn't know what stats I needed. Got a family emergency, so he's got to be excused. This Friday, our academy is graduating 94 new officers. We are getting 7 of them, like I stated last month. So they will be reporting 2 weeks from today. So we're building our squad up with 7 more officers. Of course, they'll be on field breaking for about 3.5 to 4 months. So it'll be a little while before they're out on their own, but we're definitely building our staff, so it's a good thing. We did a pedestrian crosswalk sting, if you want to call it that. We have one of our plainclothes officers directly in front of our office just to see how it would go, and I don't know if we're going to call it a success or a failure, but 3 officers in a matter of 2.5 hours wrote 45 tickets for people failing to yield to a pedestrian or a crosswalk. So again, I don't know if it's a success or a failure. Success on our end, failure on their end. So we're going to try and reach this out to other communities around here. Hacienda Heights, Rolling Heights, over here, the areas that the High Patrol covers. So if you see us out there, or if you see a pedestrian, regardless, they're in a crosswalk, stop for them, please. It's an expensive ticket. It's a moving violation. It's 20 under. So we have several holidays coming up. And I don't know if you want to call Halloween a holiday. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and last Sunday was, or yesterday, started football season. So we're going to have a lot of intoxicated drivers out there. So if you see an intoxicated driver, call 911. I know they tell you not to, it's emergency use, that driver can possibly kill somebody, so that's emergency. Our 911 operators are trained to tell you not to follow a drunk driver, because they're gonna take the information down. You're gonna put out that it's a red Toyota Camry with license plate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last seen going, eastbound on Colima from Fullerton. And they're gonna say, all right, please stop following. Well, we don't have officers everywhere, sitting on the corner of Fullerton waiting for them. So it's up to you, if you feel safe, to follow until we get an officer behind that car to pull that car over and initiate enforcement stop and see if they are actually intoxicated or not. So it's totally up to you if you want to follow or not, but our dispatchers will tell you not to follow, so it's totally up to you if you feel safe. Tell them you refuse to stop following until you, that party is pulled over. Because likely, they can go to the next intersection down at Colima and Nogales and possibly run a red light and kill somebody. And then, it's an absolute possibility that could happen. So totally up to you if you feel safe or not safe to follow. But even if you just report it to us, we might have an officer down the street that sees that Toyota Camry driving down the street, and we can put that person in custody and hopefully save someone's life. So with that, take any questions, comments, or concerns. Yes.
On the corner of Colima and the two shopping centers, Goodwill and the Dollar Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, not McAllis, that's over here. I think it's the Goodwill Shopping Center right there on before you come up to Summer. There's a no left turn sign there, and I could tell you, I almost got hit the other day, and they got mad at me. I kind of blocked their way from turning left. And I see so many, I thought, I can sit here and write so many, so I'm like, you say you got 45, I could probably be 100 every day.
I'll give you a couple tickets.
Okay? I'm not fixing up to do it. I really thought of getting the camera and just sitting there. Because they
All
have-
times of the day? Or in
all
the morning
times.
commute?
I have been there on different times in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and they're not supposed to turn left. Because there's a left turn right there, and that's what they wanna get into. They should turn right, but they don't. So, if you want,
Colima, and what's across the street?
Albatross, yeah, oh, that's what it is, it's Albatross and Colleen.
Oh, coming down Albatross.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I said it all the time. I'm not gonna say all the time, but
Okay, well, I'll have
yeah,
to
that's,
write the dates if you want, just.
right by the Habit and all that.
Yes.
Right there. Oh, yeah.
Yes. And it's.
I'm very familiar with that.
Right, and I.
They either make the left turn out of there, they go straight to the shopping center across the.
Right, now they shoot across.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're supposed to, but I know one day I just did not move my car and they got sad because I stopped their left turn and it's going to the left turn.
Yeah, there's several signs here. It's
Yeah,
one night, so.
it's obvious.
Okay.
But anyway, it happens a lot, and I really, on the camera.
We're hired.
With my blow dryer, just, but, I'm not that bored yet, but
I'm bored, so I'll sit
but
here.
if you could, I don't know, if you all could. Yeah,
Okay.
but there's plenty of money sitting there because there's a lot.
We don't get any money, that's the
I know,
misconception.
and it's not for the money, but I'm telling you,
If that was the case, I'd.
well, that would stop, because it's the safety net.
Yeah, we get a lot of action.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people coming down Albatross at 50 level speed.
Right. And you're supposed to know, then I've gotten flipped off a lot.
Me too.
So, oh wow.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The other concern is, what are it's gotta be in a question, so that be my concern. Now that school's back in, I guess I'm more aware of it, when people are out walking, the electric bikes and the electric scooters and getting run over by a momos, gotta jump off the sidewalk. Do they belong on the streets like bicycles? Those electric bikes?
Unfortunately, there is no law in place for them yet, because I go to several community meetings, and I've had this question asked at another community meeting that I go to, and there's no law in place for it yet. So we can kind of articulate one. There's several laws in the book that we can articulate to make it, feel a fair deal to a pedestrian and a sidewalk or unsafe speed or whatever it might be. But the electric bikes and scooters got out before the lawmakers could make laws about them. So
Are there very many accidents on them?
We get a few. They're starting to become more frequent, not as many as you would think. They're starting to become more frequent.
Well, one little boy, I yelled at him because he just shot across the street as I was making a left, and I was like, ah!
Well, I know.
So when I caught up with him, which was 2 blocks down, that's how fast they can go. It's, after I got my composure, and I yelled at him, I said, I almost ran you over. But he was on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Now they should be in the street.
No lights, no
Yeah.
license, no.
And that's the thing, our hands are tied to a point where, we can't enforce,
No, I
there's
know,
no law
but
to
we can
enforce.
scare 'em.
But, mom and dad buy these $2,000 memory bikes for little Johnny and Sally, and they're just gonna rip bunches out there, and then when little Johnny and Sally get hit, it's the motor's fault, it's not their little precious little child. That's the thing. Anybody else? All right, thank you so much.
Okay, we are going to start with the Office of Supervisor Hilda Solis, and that is Ryan Serrano. And Ryan told me at 7:08 that he was not going to be here today. So,
Someone has taken his position, I believe.
Andrea, neither one of them will be here this evening. And I reminded them that we are the third Monday in October and November, and hopefully I get a call before 7:08 on those days. Lawrence is on vacation. Will somebody be, okay, come on down, from Parks and Recs? Sorry. Ryan is going to be speaking for Parks and Recs.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Ceballos. I'm the Assistant Regional Recreation Director overseeing Hacienda and Roland Heights. So I'm stepping in for Lawrence today. He will be returning next month, and we just wish him, safe travels. He's out of the country right now. But thank you very much for coming by today. I do want to share, we have a couple of events coming up. Tomorrow, we have our second annual Department of Parks and Recreation's community meeting. We have flyers here on the table. And what this meeting consists of is where we share just our general information to the community in the area on what the department's budget looks like, where the allocations are going towards. We highlight all of the events throughout the year that we're conducting at each specific site. We provide dates, times, information like that. We also open the floor to community input on programs that they want to see incorporated at the specific facilities. And these meetings take place in the month of September. So we have in the Roland Heights area, we have Pathfinder Park, which will be tomorrow. Then we have, I believe, the following week on the, if I'm not mistaken, either the 11th or the 13th at Carolyn Rosas Park, and then on the 18th, which is a Wednesday, yes, we have Roland Heights Park. So if you want to attend any one of those community meetings, please feel free to grab a flyer and join us, and we'd be more than happy. We have some refreshments, we have translations as well available, and just general information will be provided. Thank you very much. I'm also happy to promote that we have a Community Day Park Cleanup co-sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Roland Heights, and it is registration required, so please pick up a flyer on the table or see Happy over here for more information. And then finally, for the month of September, we have the start of our Hispanic Heritage Month cultural experiences. These are 2-hour programs where we highlight the significance, achievements, triumphs of Hispanic Americans and the impact that they, provided. We have refreshments, we have performances, we have activities. So it's fun for the whole family. We do have those starting this month in September. We have flyers here on the table as well. And then I'm also happy to being able to share that we have a next month on Saturday, October 19th, we are planning a festival in kind of a similar fashion as the Buckboard Day Festival. It's going to be, almost similar. It's not quite at the level as Buckboard, as there won't be a parade this year, but we will still be having a festival on the third Saturday in the month of October. So we will have a flyer available. We will share that with everybody here, and we're looking at around a 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. time frame for the festival, which will be taking place at Roland Heights Park again on Saturday, October 19th. So we really hope to see you there. There will be, activities, performances, food samplings, community engagement, so a lot of fun. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions. Great. Well, thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, Brian. Next on the agenda is from LA County Public Health. I don't see Crystal here. Okay. From the office of Congressman Linda Sanchez. I don't see Melissa either. I think these county representatives are forgetting about us. I think you should all maybe contact them. The next, from the office of Senator Barbara Chuleta, Kyle Miller. Nope, he's not here because he got a handful last month. But, okay. From the office of Senator Josh Newman is Nathan Bass. I don't see Nathan here either. And Lisa Calderon, Stephen Coronel. Nope, we're batting 1,000 here. And I did see Roland Unified School District, Carrie Chen is here today. Thank you for showing up this evening, Carrie.
Good evening, everyone. And tonight is another board member can have God's turn, and he has the schedule conflict tonight. For him. There are a few items I need to share with everybody. Football games. Roland High School versus Nogales High School football game. Roland Unified School District employees and their families were invited to come out and support our schools at the big Roland High School versus Nogales High School football game on August 30th. The Board of Education, district leadership, and our employees unions treated everyone to a barbecue with hot dogs, chips, and drinks for families, along with complimentary admission to the game. In homecoming games, our community can cheer on both Nogales High School and Roland High School at each school's homecoming football game on Friday, September 27th at 7 p.m. at their stadium. And Superintendent Advisory Council, Superintendent Alex Flores is inviting parents to stay connected and informed with an invitation to serve on Superintendent's Parent Advisory Council. These quarterly meetings will be held at the district office, and the first meeting will take place on Wednesday, October 23rd. The Superintendent's Community Advisory Council is also being informed. The first meeting date is not yet determined. That's all I have for this evening. Any questions?
Carrie, maybe you can share with us, because of the last meeting, Superintendent Flores shared with us that Ms. Romo is running for the David Malcolm section in the school board. Is there another person who is, or anybody else who is running for that in competition?
Okay. So let me share with everyone The Roland Unified School Board of Education has divided into 5 areas. And this year, and 2 areas up to region, and area 2, which is the current board member, Eric Venegas. And Mr. Venegas is running for the seat, and he's only one. So there's no campaign. And area number 4, and which is the approximately covers from the west end of Roland Heights until approximately Ottawa, and south of Colima, and north of the hill. And this area is area number 4. And the current board member, Mr. Malcolm, announced his retirement, and is not going to stay as a board member. So we have 2 candidates registered for the seat. And our current RTCCC president, Yvette Romo, she's one candidate. And the other candidate, her name is Ellen Park, and she's an educator.
Are we supposed to be talking about politics? Is the forum for it? Is this the forum?
I'm questioning if this is the forum for talking about politics right now, especially since the other candidate is not here. I don't think it's fair to be talking with only one candidate here.
I just briefly explain the history.
Right. And,
So, no more. And the rest, up to you.
right. I don't talk about it because I think it would be inappropriate. Yes, Roy?
Does the coordinating council plan on in the near future, perhaps like next month, to have a forum where you and Ms. Park can
If Ms.
express-
Park returns from being out of the country, we could more than happy to have that, but she's away out of the
Yeah, I
country.
know,
at the
I
present.
contact her. She'll be back on the 15th.
Yeah, the chairman is we can share more information with you, not in public.
Okay, thank you.
Any more other questions? Okay, thank you very much. And next.
Thank you, Carrie. The next person we have on the agenda is no one, so we could actually start our presentation a little bit early if you're ready, Andrea. So our presenter will be from the Habitat Preservation Authority. Her name is Andrea Gullo. Did I say it right? Gullo. Okay. And she was with us about a year ago talking about information that I think it's really important for us to hear. So Andrea, if you are ready.
Good evening, everybody. As she mentioned, my name is Andrea Bello. I'm with the Puente Hills Habitat Preservation Authority. And I was here in November last year talking with you about our agency. And a few things have happened since then, and I want to update you about what's going on. And also, as you see, about Measure pH, which will be on your ballots this November. So just a quick overview of what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about who we are, some preserve updates with habitat restoration, fire prevention, ranger services, and then get into the funding with Measure pH. So how many here have heard of us, the Habitat Authority? Okay, a lot of you, fantastic. We manage about 4,000 acres of public open space. We are a government park agency. We were created 30 years ago in 1994. Our purpose is to restore, manage, and preserve the hills. And we provide outdoor recreation, and we assist with wildfire preparedness efforts and emergency response. We provide 23 miles of public trails, and the closest to you is Powder Canyon and also Hacienda Hills, but we also on the other side of the hill have Sycamore Canyon, Arroyo Pescadero, Hellman, and Turnbull Canyon. And to put us in perspective, we are biologically, our area is biologically connected to the Chino Hills State Park and the Cleveland National Forest. The preserve is circled in red right here. As you can see, wildlife knows no boundaries, so they run across the hills and go over to Chino Hills State Park and beyond. So I'm going to try and go through the updates faster than normal because I want to stay within the timeline that was afforded. So we are restoring, we've restored 200 acres. We're currently restoring about 112 acres throughout the preserve, and most of it is focused here closest to you in Powder Canyon. And these efforts were primarily like 99% funded from outside sources. We are very lucky because we are in existence, the Habitat Authority, we're able to attract millions of dollars to our local community to do this restoration work, which we would not normally have funding for. So just to compare, on the left you have what it looks like before. On the right, that's 3 years into the planting project. That's actually the 6th year of this 8-year project. And the purpose is to eliminate flashy fuels, which protects us from wildfires, and to increase biodiversity. And what that means is it creates homes for this bird, which is protected under the Endangered Species Act, as well as other animals and wildlife in the hills. And just this year, we were able to attract one more project, a 12-acre project, worth about $4.5 million, but it only goes to habitat restoration. In addition to a lot of other things we do, we are guided by our resource management plan. It's based on ecological principles, and part of that is keeping track of the wildlife. And so we have some wildlife cameras out at key locations, and this is at the Harbor Boulevard Wildlife Underpass, which is the only one in the county. So we built the first wildlife underpass for wildlife in the county, and that was a joint project, of course, with the county and California State Parks. Okay, so there's real nature out there. Yeah, that's a snake on a coyote's face. Yeah, it's real nature. We also have fox out in the hills, but you don't hear about this every day, right? And this is our deer. They are this is a photo taken this year, and they are just a baby. Our ecologists estimated that was about 1 to 3 day old deer in that photo circled. Okay, so other things we do is for wildfire preparedness, and we were able to do this this year, last year, the year before with state grant funding. We are short on funds, and so we were lucky enough to get some state funds to help us with this. We had some goats in Turnbull and Powder Canyons over the last 2-3 years. This is Powder Canyon. They came out for their 2nd year in June, and they were able to clear 11 acres. It created a nice fire break. And other things we do is clear the flashy fuels around the homes throughout the hills. This is in Hacienda Heights. This is in Whittier, and this is also on the edge of Whittier and Hacienda Heights. Other things we've been able to do because of state grant funding is something that really needed to be done, is all of a sudden we had a lot of dead trees in the urban wildland area. This is the area closest to the homes. And so for the last actually we had another grant for trees, 2-3 years, we were able to remove over 300 dead and hazardous trees within the urban wildlife interface. Something exciting that we did recently with the community of La Habra Heights and the county and county water district, and Wanda was at our dedication. As we had a dedication ceremony in November, we allowed for this heli hydrant tank to be placed on the Habitat Authority property, and it will serve for emergency response for the local community. And you can see on the right an example is it allows helicopters to come down, snorkel water, saves time in fighting fires, and so it's a good resource for this community and for the area. Something also that we have is, so we have a very small staff, there's 3 of us right now, and so we contract out for a lot of services. So one of those services is for ranger services, and we contract out annually with another government agency called the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority. And our rangers are California peace officers, which means they can make arrests, write tickets, and they provide public safety, fire protection, maintenance, repair, and education when we have the funding for it, outdoor education. They are trained wildland firefighters. They know a native plant from a weed, and they are skilled in a lot of other areas. Examples of what they do is they help keep folks out of the hills at night. You can see there was this big group here that wanted to, groups like this or other folks who aren't supposed to be in the hills at night that are sometimes up to illegal behavior, they will keep them out. Parking that blocks fire gates, these are just examples. Homeless individuals that are in areas where they're not supposed to be at night. For this instance, the rangers actually responded when the PD police weren't able to locate the homeless person, and turns out he actually needed medical attention, so they were able to get him to a hospital and get him the care that he needed. They respond to fires. We had a fire earlier this year. A vehicle started a small brush fire that was put out very quickly by LA County. And also, of course, they address illegal things like habitat harvesting, illegal habitat harvesting, and on a whole host of other things. But their law enforcement presence spills over to the community. Sometimes community members call them to help with, to handle things that needs to be addressed, like maybe Ranger one time got a call at 3 a.m. from a local resident because some gang members were partying at one of the trailheads. And so he came and scared them away. Of course, they drove to local neighborhood, but the ranger escorted them out of the community. So they also do things for their downtime is to get on the mower and help clear emergency access roads. So our rangers do a lot of this. We also hire contractors, other contractors for this as well. They also help prevent large homeless encampments in the hills. Whenever they find that, they escort the person out, or they clean up their belongings and give them the resources that they need, provide them the resources that they need to go somewhere else or use the services from the county. Because we can't take any chances with homeless in the hills from any fires being started. They also, there's a lot of dumping that goes on out there, and they address that. Just general maintenance in general. Someone dumped two large tree stumps in Powder Canyon recently. Crazy. And also, when funds are available, we're able to provide outdoor educational programs. This has been cut drastically over the last several years because we haven't had the funding, but we were able to provide just a handful of them this past year. Okay, so getting into the budget. There's a lot going on here. Just to simplify, our budget has not been able to keep up, our revenue has not been able to keep up with our growing costs in our budget. So we were created in 1994 as a conditional use of the Puente Hills landfill. So for every ton of trash that went into the landfill, they set aside $1 for the Habitat Authority. So over 20 years, that was $64 million. But we spent at least half of that on acquiring the land and preserving and protecting it, because that's the primary purpose of why we were set up. The other half mostly went into a portfolio, an investment portfolio that the county manages. The County of LA is our controller and our treasurer, and we rely on them to provide investing expertise for us. So we work in tandem with them on that. And so they're doing the best they can, and but our investment portfolio does not cover all of our costs. So we've been creative in getting grants and money through other sources, and but they aren't long-term sustainable sources to cover all of our costs. We hired a third-party financial analysis company to review our finances. We gave them all the audits, all of our budgets over many years, and this is what they came up with, that we need a reliable, stable funding source to avoid further cuts to our rangers and fire prevention and other top priorities. So we are operating in the red right now. Our funding is, primary sources of funding have been declining over the last more than 10 years, and it no longer covers our rangers, wildfire prevention, and other services. As I mentioned, we've won several one-time competitive state grants, but they're not sustainable in the long term. I've been very lucky in getting these grants, and I reapplied to them, and I was denied twice. And so our grants are done. And this next year we'll be able to cover fuel clearance thanks to Assemblywoman Calderon and Senator Archuleta, who was able to get us a line item in the state budget a few years ago, and we've been spreading that money out. And so we're running to the end of that funding as well. So we've been very lucky over the last few years. So we do need a reliable source of funding. As I mentioned, we've tightened our belt. We've made cuts to our already very thin budget. We've decreased our ranger services, eliminating the part-time staff members that we had that coordinated our volunteers and did our community outreach. We eliminated staff professional development, supplies, memberships, and annual gathering of the agency. So in July, after 4 years of discussions and analyzing the issue and trying to think of what else or what could we do to close this budget gap and provide long-term funding, the board decided to unanimously voted to form a legal entity called Community Facility District, a CFD, which will allow us, the Habitat Authority, to place Measure PH on the November 2024 general election ballot. Measure PH is a special tax of 1 cent per building square foot. So if you have an 1,800 square foot home, you would be asked to contribute, or you'd be taxed $18 a year for that home. So with annual adjustments limited to 3% until it's ended by voters. So what can Measure PH do? It would do things like clear brush from structures and emergency access road for first responders, protect local natural lands by preventing homeless encampments, vandalism, illegal dumping, maintaining the trailheads in our natural habitats, including Hacienda Hills, Turnbulls, Sycamore, Hellman, Arroyo Pescadero, and Powder Canyon. And it would help maintain our park ranger patrols for fire safety and keeping the hills and trails safe and providing emergency response. Of course, there would be strict accountability. All funds would be locally controlled and not taken by the state. We'd have a citizens oversight committee to ensure that the funds were spent as they were intended. And as we do every year, these funds would have annual audits and public financial disclosures. And our current audits are on our website right now. You can look at those if you like at habitatauthority.org. So this is the boundaries of the proposed CFD. So the preserve is in yellow, and the green is in the area that would be included in the CFD. It includes all of Whittier, all of La Habra Heights, Hacienda Heights, Roland Heights, and a small community at Workman Mill area. Oh, well, so that's it with that, but I have some other announcements here for you in case you want to get out and go on a hike. We're partnered with the Roland Heights Chinese Association, and we are offering a mid-autumn nature walk this Sunday, the 15th, at 8. The hike starts at 8:30, and we have free mooncakes while supplies last. That's the key, while supplies last. Everyone's welcome. And this is on our website as well, and there's a flyer over there on the table. And also, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary on the 21st. Everyone is welcome. Tell your friends, your neighbors. It's also on the back side of the flyer on the table. It starts at 1, goes till 3, so it's a very short celebration. And also, in case you didn't know, we run our volunteers. They host public hikes twice a week here in Powder Canyon. Everybody is welcome. It's a 10,000 steps hike, and they start off at I believe it's Black Walnut Trail right there, next to the Roland Water District, and real nice group of folks. So it's on Thursday and Sunday. And if you go to meetup.com or go to our website and then click on the meetup icon, the M, it'll take you to where you can go and get more information. And then you can learn more about Measure pH on our website and anything else about us if you like. So I appreciate your attention, and I can answer any questions that you may have.
It shows there at Habitat Authority Board. How are those people selected?
She asked who's on our board of directors. Great question. So on our board of directors is, three government agencies created our agency. The County of LA, the City of Whittier, and the sanitation districts of LA County. And they also provided a fourth full voting board member, is Hacienda Heights Improvement Association member. So I'll start with that one. HHIA member is appointed by Supervisor Solis. And the county person right now is a staffer of Supervisor Janice Hahn. That's our chairperson. And the City of Whittier has a council person on, Mary Pacheco. And then we have the chief engineer of the sanitation districts, sits on our board as well. And they have alternates as well. And we also have a 9-member advisory committee. So that's made up of community members appointed by, 3 are appointed by the City Council of La Habra Heights. And the City Council appoints just 3 residents that live in La Habra Heights. Supervisor Solis appoints 3 community members from Roland Heights or Hacienda Heights. So currently we have a Roland Heights resident on our advisory committee, and 2 are from Hacienda Heights. And we have the City of Whittier appoints 3 community members as well.
Do you happen to know who that Roland Heights individual is?
Brian Correas.
Frank who?
Correas.
Correas. Okay.
Probably not saying his name right, but his name is on the website.
Okay, give him a round of applause for Frank.
Yeah, and before him, I don't know if you remember David Rodriguez.
Yeah, everybody knows Dave.
He was on our advisory committee as well, an attorney from Roland Heights.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he may have been on Roland Heights coordinating council.
yeah, that's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I was just wondering, do you guys have any backup plans, in case negotiations not passed? What would the authority look like if you don't get the study? Like, will you continue to apply for grants, cut more personnel? What happens to the land?
It's a good question. We have to get creative. It would be cutting rangers, probably cutting close to all the rangers. And, because we can't, our budget's already bare bones right now. There's really nothing optional in our budget. It's very, slim. So, yeah, that would probably, no decisions have been made on how it would survive. But, we'd have to get creative. And the service would be much different than it is now. Okay, thank you.
Es todo, ¿no?
Well, I guess our presentation came right on time, and unless if you have any other questions, I guess we're done for today, for the night. So we'll see you